Let's do this! On the last episode of 19 Summers, I left Radium, British Columbia, and headed south down Settlers Road. I found a free campground beside the Kootenay River, and I had the whole place all to myself. Today I woke up, made some coffee, and after packing up, I hit the road again. On this day, I remembered to press record on my audio device. Yeah, I'm testing now, testing. So join me now as I ride out of here towards Canal Flats. I'm going to talk a bit about creative anxiety and a few thoughts about this motovlog. Okay, I think we're all rolling here. Of course, I thought that yesterday too, and it turns out I recorded about an hour's worth of video with no audio. Like an idiot. Oh well. Whew. Good to hear that engine start up, especially when it's such a remote campground. So the day for me, this is day 3 of motorcycle trip. Kind of one that started off badly, but turns out to be okay so far. It's day 3. I'm just going to do a quick walk around to make sure I didn't leave anything behind. In fact, I actually cleaned up the campsite, removing some debris that I found. Try to leave things a little cleaner than you found them, right? I kind of hate to see this campground. I kind of hate to leave this campground, to be honest. I had it all to myself for about 24 hours at the confluence of the Kootenay and the rivers. I did actually find out that that river there is the Kootenay, and the one that comes in that way is the river. So I have been pulling drinking water from the river and not treating it. So we'll know in a few hours if that's a good idea or not. I suspect it's fine. Look at this beautiful, beautiful campsite. I am getting a classic Jeremy Kroeker start on the day. It is now 1 o'clock and I'm leaving the campground. But I had a great morning, and I'm not going anywhere. In fact, I literally don't know where I'm going today. So there's no harm in getting a late start. If Neville were here, he would be shaking his head. That guy's always on the road at 7 a.m. That campsite right there may have been my favorite campsite that I've ever seen. Elle and I had a great campsite in Peru, right on the ocean. And that was also a contender for best campground ever. That one, unfortunately, was a little bit marred because Elle and I were in the middle of a bit of a disagreement, you could say. So the emotion was negatively charged, even though the campground was awesome. That disagreement, I can recall the details if I try really hard, but it was kind of meaningless and unnecessary, and it was my fault. And it was Elle's fault. This campsite here, I can tell that I'm in love with Elle West because of many reasons. Many reasons, actually. But last night, I was struck with the thought of all I wanted to do was, I couldn't wait to come back here with Elle and show her this campground. So, I do like camping by myself. I do like being by myself. but one of my main thoughts last night was, I can't wait to show this to Elle. Well, we're rolling. May as well talk to you today about anxiety. Specifically anxiety regarding creative process, whether that be writing or filmmaking or YouTubing, I guess. I have been riddled with it lately. And sometimes I question whether or not I should be splitting my creative energy between filmmaking and writing, or maybe I should just pick a lane. And, you know, I've established myself kind of as a writer. Why not get to work on more writing and really work on my craft? But then I kind of picked up YouTubing. It does take time. Actually, I want to go check that campsite out right there. Do a 21-point turnaround. This campsite would have been awesome as well. Yeah, I'd camp here comfortably next time too. So anxiety regarding creative processes. It takes so much time to write something properly or to properly edit a video in a vlog. And it takes time to set up shots. And I have watched a lot of Casey Neistat YouTube videos to see what he does, and he takes a lot of time and gets things right. There's other motovloggers who do a really good job as well. 40 Times Around, I think, is one of them, and Amanda Zito's channel, As the Magpie Flies, or something like that. So there's YouTubers out there who are doing motorcycle travel content. Oh, and of course Sterling, what's his last name? Sterling. I'll link to some of these YouTube channels in the description if you want to check out like proper YouTube vlogs. Me, I'm just in the beginning stages of this kind of hobby, I guess. And it causes me anxiety. So does this loose gravel. Okay. Wahoo! Yeah, it's that river rock that's all round, like a bunch of marbles. And then you're going uphill. Good thing I got these new tires on. Thanks again, Brian Bailey, for spinning them on for me like a freaking expert when my mind shut down and I was done with wrenches. Now this is the road that I came in on. See if I can remember how to get out of here. Yeah, so sometimes I lie awake at night thinking about, how I'm going to capture this shot, or what am I going to talk about. But then I run into the problem of creating so much work for myself that I don't want to do it. Right? Oh, yeah, I should film this, I thought last night a few times for a few things that I was doing. Oh, but then I have to go and get my camera, and I have to think about where I'm going to put it, and then I have to, all of a sudden I'm not camping, I am working. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, all the best vlogs require a lot of work, and but sometimes I just want to lay in my hammock, and sometimes I don't want to talk to the camera, and sometimes I wish I had the footage later, but I'm too lazy to collect it in the moment. So then the question becomes, why am I doing this at all? Okay, Jeremy, you've established that if you you really work at it, yes, you can put together interesting little videos, but that requires a lot of work. And if you're not going to work at it, the videos suffer. They're at best mediocre. And if you don't want to do it, then why bother? Just stop. But then the other side of me starts to think, well, you know, most of the things that are worthwhile as undertaking are difficult. And if you just stop every time you don't feel like doing something, maybe you'll never accomplish anything worthwhile. Not that these vlogs are worthwhile. Dear viewer, I understand that right now they're just a guy talking to a camera, riding his motorcycle in British Columbia. But what I'm doing right now, I think, is like practicing scales on my guitar. That's not fun either, but it does have a payoff down the road if you stick with it, right? And I think what I'm doing now is just learning what makes good vlogs and what is not worth watching or listening to. When I look back at the videos that I have been making from the footage that Elle and I collected in South America, sometimes I really kick myself. Oh, I wish we had this shot or that shot, or I wish we had set that up a little bit better, or why didn't I stop and take out my camera and all that kind of stuff. So it's better to just collect the footage and deal with it later. I know there are some logging trucks that come thundering down these roads, so I kind of got to be careful. But also at the same time, Elle and I were using, I think I've spoken about this before, we were using very outdated equipment, and we were not using it very well either. But I had an iPhone 6, which was very outdated even at the time, and Elle had an iPhone 6, I believe, as well. Then we had outdated GoPros. I think Hero 2s is what we were using. And we didn't get a lot of video. That's why Elle and I end up talking a lot in our short little films from South America, because we don't have the footage that explains everything. But there's also a beauty to that, kind of. Like, if I did what I'm doing now and just recorded and recorded and recorded and recorded, so beautiful. In South America, if we just did nothing but record, yeah, we would have probably better films, but we may not have been living the moments. So maybe it's best to just record things that you think are interesting at the time and piece them together at a later date. How does that tie in with anxiety? I don't know. I guess I'm just rambling for no good reason at this point. But I do have a lot of anxiety, especially at the beginning of projects. And even this motorcycle trip is an example. I had a lot of anxiety packing. I didn't know where I was going to go, and then, you know what happened. Some people might say that that was clairvoyance of some kind, or a premonition. That's where I came from yesterday. That is Settlers Road, I think. And I think this is kind of still Settlers Road, but I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, I had a bad feeling about this trip before I ever began, and then a bunch of bad things happened. But, oops, that's loose gravel. I don't know. I can't always listen to my feelings of foreboding because they're often there, and often nothing bad happens, so. Ooh, this is softer than it looked. Anyway, that's my thoughts on anxiety for the moment. I possibly suffer from some kind of anxious disorder, anxiety disorder, but I've never been diagnosed, so this is just me thinking out loud. And sometimes it's a bummer, but it's usually manageable. And there again, like today, I was getting a lazy start to my day, and I started kind of beating myself up for that too. But I'm not going anywhere. I don't know where I am, but I'm not lost because I don't know where I'm going either. And on that note, I'll pack up the ride audio and jump in with a little narration to bring it home. A few more kilometers of gravel brought me back to Highway 93 at Canal Flats. From there, I rode south a ways before deking in on another gravel road towards White Swan Lake, then south again towards top of the World Provincial Park. Before I got that far, however, the sun started to fade and I chose a little spot right beside the road to camp. I think I found my campsite for the evening. I was driving along this gravel road on my way to top of the world campground here in British Columbia when I saw this. So that's the top of the world campground. Here's a little offshoot path, and I decided to follow it. Oh, here, a car coming. And it goes down to this little creek and a bunch of what I think are really good camping spots. So there's my motorcycle. Shadows are kind of getting long. It's that time of day. Again, a fire pit, but no fire is allowed at this juncture. Fire hazard is too high. And look at this beautiful little stream. I think it's quite scenic. I think this is going to be where I put my tent, right here on this little flat spot. That way I can wake up and enjoy the view in the morning. I think that's my campsite. I guess I'm not going to make it to the top of the world today. Tomorrow, maybe. But I don't even know where I'm going, so I can't be in the wrong location, ever. Another deep thought for the YouTube world. Catch you on the flip side. And I hope you're enjoying it too. If so, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment in the description below. Check out the links that I've included as well. If you want to support me, subscribe to the YouTube channel and watch a bunch of YouTube videos. Also, you can, buy one of my books or my t-shirts too. That would all be much appreciated. Shutting off the camera for now.